Before I begin, just a word of gratitude first to Father Bob. Thank you very much for being here. I won't ask you how old you are, but thank you very much for being here today. Thank you to the many priests who are here. It's a blessing to have your support, and many pastors who I've admired and learned what it means to be a pastor from you. So thank you for being here. A big thank you to all the groups from the parish, the knights, the parish staff, especially the pastoral council. I know I've thrown a lot of things in the air, but I appreciate your understanding and your help. A big thank you, a special way to my family for always being there, for supporting me, and to my parents. They should probably be on payroll, how much I've asked them to do in helping me out. So I thank them. And a thank you to all of you for your support and your kindness in this time of transition. I know you've been very understanding, and I appreciate all your support and love. It's great to see so many here on this beautiful day. I thought I'd begin today, though, with one of my favorite poems from English Lit. Half a league, half a league, half a league onward, all in the valley of death rode the 600. Forward the light brigade, charge for the guns, he said. Into the valley of death rode the 600. Forward the light brigade, was there a man dismayed? Not though the soldier knew someone had blundered. Theirs not to make reply, theirs not to reason why, theirs but to do and die. Into the valley of death rode the 600. Cannon to the right of them, cannon to the left of them, cannon in front of them, volleyed and thundered, stormed at with shot and shell, boldly they rode and well. Into the jaws of death, into the mouth of hell, rode the 600. It's called the Charge of the Light Brigade. As the story goes, back about 150 years ago in a war between England and Russia, there was a bit of a miscommunication, an error, and 600 cavalrymen were sent to attack an incredibly well-defended position, and even knowing the odds, they rode in anyway. Many were lost and they were forced to retreat quickly, but in the poem, Tennyson writes of their bravery and following the mistaken command without hesitation. So I chose this poem for two reasons. First, I've often found myself wondering if I too am the subject of a similar terrible mistake. It's usually when I wake up in a cold sweat at 3 in the morning. I'm fairly young, as I'm often reminded, about 20 times a day. And it is true, it's hard to believe I'm here when not even 10 years ago I was still in college worrying if the girl in Keb Lab liked me. She didn't. Obviously. But it leaves me asking why I've been sent here seemingly against all odds. I can feel like I'm being bombarded from all sides in different directions, and I don't know if I'm up for the challenge. I chose this poem too, though, because I think it captures in a very powerful way what it means to be a Catholic nowadays, especially in these past months. Cannon to the right, to the left, and front, we're faced with a world that fires on us from all sides, rejecting faith as superstition, rejecting traditional morality as oppressive, rejecting the church as a piece of history long dead. And while being attacked by the world, there's just as much friendly fire too, with the scandals, the fallen clergy, the Catholics who are just as quick to criticize those who remain faithful to the church. Living the faith, let alone trying to spread it, as Christ commanded, baptizing all nations, it seems like a futile effort. The enemy is strong, he's dug in too deeply. Why charge into certain destruction like the Light Brigade? I know for myself, as I begin this role, there's only one reason why I have any confidence charging in. And that's, of course, Jesus Christ. I've learned that part of growing in faith is slowly realizing that the more we rely on ourselves, the more we fall. The more we think we have the brains, the brawn, the cunning to accomplish anything, the more we come up short. But the more we recognize our weakness and rely on Christ, that's when we triumph. Because we are broken, we are weak, and only Christ was able to win the great victory of the cross, laying down his life in perfect love. And once we accept that the victory is not ours to win, that's when Christ can work through us. We can become his hands and his feet and his eyes and his mouth. We can be the vessel he uses to transform the world. Particularly as a priest, Pope Benedict says it well, and it's something I was reflecting on back in my first Mass when I was ordained. He said, The faithful expect only one thing from priests, that they be specialists in promoting the encounter between man and God. That means for me, it's not about being liked or making money, though feel free to keep throwing the collection basket. You don't have to stop that. But when I stand before God and give that final accounting, I'll be asked, have I led others to Christ? Have I disappeared so that people can encounter him through me? Have I laid down my life for the flock so they can know his love through me? I think today's gospel is a convenient reminder of this, because a pastor is called, like Christ, not to be served, but to serve and give his life for the many. But this isn't just a calling for pastors. Well, I'm going to do my best here, promoting that encounter with God. We're all called to go out and do the same. It may seem daunting, but it's true the world is firing at us from all sides. This has always been true. In every age, the faith has suffered under human weakness. It's been attacked for preaching inconvenient truths. It's been denied as too difficult to live out. But in every age, too, men and women of faith have risen up against all odds, and with the strength that only Christ can give, have brought light into the darkness of the world. They made the faith a force to be reckoned with. That's our call here in New Hyde Park in particular. We're called to come together as a parish community, not change the world, but change the small corner of the world we're part of by becoming saints, by building our lives on that sure foundation of Jesus Christ. This, as hard as it is to believe, it's not through gimmicks or innovative and creative ideas that will bring about God's kingdom, but through that simple rediscovery of those ways to Christ, those tools that have strengthened people of faith for 2,000 years. A love of the Eucharist, a love of our Blessed Mother, a trust in our Mother, the Church, who never leads us astray. These are the things that will help all of us lay down our lives for others and find a joy that can overcome any sadness in this world. So I look forward to these coming years with all of you, riding out to build God's kingdom. I'm excited to come to know all of you in whatever small ways serve you, so that even sometimes in spite of myself, maybe often in spite of myself, this community may grow a little closer to Christ, building on the work of my good and holy predecessors. And I hope with all of you that we may be at the forefront of that battle with the darkness in the world, that with confidence in Christ we may ride out into the valley of death like the light brigade, ready to face what awaits. Because we know that though we walk in the valley of the shadow of death, we fear no evil, because he is by our side. Because we know remaining within the church, the gates of hell shall not prevail against us. Because we know that while we ride out into the world against all odds, Christ is our sword and our shield. And to him the victory, to him the glory, to him the honor for all eternity. Amen.